Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to, whoa, I got a bunch going on here. The pre-show before the free show. I got a pair of Gregs.
What'd
it do?
Well,
there's a Greg and there's a Grev.
Yeah, I was going to say.
These are two very different
things. Many
things.
of them. Have you heard, we have a...
Dateline!
As we've mentioned here on the show, it all happens at the zoo.
Is there another threat at the zoo?
Wow.
No, but there's new developments in the story
I'm
of
gonna have to start fighting
the Dallas
people.
Zoo capers. So they arrested a gentleman.
Okay.
They arrested a man named Davion Irvin, who's 24.
Yes, okay, I do remember that. Not cool, dude. Don't take the monkeys.
This is from our friends at the Dallas Morning News. The man arrested in connection with a series of incidents at the Dallas Zoo, including cut enclosures and missing animals, told police he plans to return to the zoo and steal again if he's released from jail, according to arrest warrant affidavits obtained by the Dallas Morning News. He told investigators how he was able to enter the zoo several times, evading security, and also outlined his plans to take additional animals. Irvin, who told police he, quote, loved animals, faces 6 charges of animal cruelty and 2 charges of burglary, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, sounds like he really loves them.
He intended to take the clouded leopard, Nova, but could only manage to pet it because she leapt to the top of the enclosure and he was unable to retrieve it. So that's how he got loose. And then they're cut enclosures for the monkeys and the unusual death of an endangered vulture named Pin. 9 days after the vulture's death, 2 Emperor Tamarin monkeys, Bella and Finn, were taken off zoo grounds. The monkeys were later found alive, but he was asking obscure questions and acting odd in the days before the monkey's disappearance. The affidavits say he asked, quote, "Where do y'all get the monkeys from, and how do y'all shift them around?" Which, he's casing the joint.
Yeah.
On January 29th, the zookeeper said Irvin asked, quote, "How do you catch the birds, and where do they go at night?" Of the Emperor Tamarin monkeys, he asked the zookeeper, "Where can I get one, and how do y'all get them in at night?" So he was casing the joint for these monkeys.
That's just messed up.
Don't steal from the zoo.
Not right.
Don't steal from the zoo.
It's not
Go to the
cool.
zoo, hang out with the monkeys, wave to them,
Yeah.
hang out with them,
You
be
can go
like,
visit 'em.
"Hey, good to see you."
They even
pair
have
of
zoo memberships
Bella
now.
and Finn. What's that?
They even have zoo memberships now. Like, you don't have to
Oh, yeah.
pay the normal zoo entry price every time. Like, if you want to go talk to Bella and Finn on a daily basis.
Oh, this guy was definitely a zoo member.
Like, you
He
can,
had to be.
Oh, yeah.
I bet he's going to be.
His membership card better get torn up.
He's going to
and
be
thrown
the
in
guy
trash.
that, like, they're going to have his picture up on the...
Yeah, he's blacklisted from
it's going to be like, do not let this guy, Davion Irvin.
Yeah, it's like the no-fly thing,
Yeah,
like,
he's
you
gonna
go to
be-
the
he's
airport, you hand in your passport, they're like,
He's going to be on the no zoo list.
boo to Davion.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? He is not our listener of the week.
No,
Yeah,
he's the
disqualified from being our listener of the
forever,
week. Yeah.
indefinitely.
Yeah, exactly.
A real terrorist.
Yeah, I mean, why don't we
Seriously.
call that terrorism? It really is. It's striking fear in the hearts and minds of
Me.
zoo-loving people like you.
Like me. I love the zoo.
Right, and so you would never want somebody to come and take Bella and Finn. The monkeys were later found alive, by the way, in Lancaster, so they're doing...
Yeah, they're in a house.
Yeah, they're
like an
doing okay.
abandoned house.
Yeah. Irvin,
Monkeys.
after he took the monkeys... Now this, I think is interesting. Irvin said after getting the monkeys out of their enclosure, he took the dart rail and then walked to the vacant home where he kept his animals.
So the
court
monkeys
document
rode the
So
dart.
I just want to know,
What did he put the monkeys in?
you're hopping on dart. It's been a long day. Maybe you're working late downtown. You got to get home. All right, I got to take the light rail, stuff like that. Hey, there's the conductor. There's a couple of other people who are hanging out. Maybe some people are
Conductor.
going out for the evening.
You don't see the conductor on the dart.
And then there's just a dude with 2 monkeys.
I'm making a phone call probably. Especially if
I'm making
tapped
a phone call.
Especially if I'm tapped into the news.
I'm making a phone call if I see a conductor on the dart train.
Well, and the thing is, this is post leopard. So even if you don't know that the monkeys are missing, because it's obviously this is a fresh crime.
Yeah.
If you've been watching the news, you understand that there's been some
Disturbances.
monkey business
Oh, no.
going on at the zoo.
You did it.
And so, yeah, you pick up the phone.
You want to know who I'm calling?
No.
Rebecca Powers, because she's been tapped into this zoo shenanigans
Is
going
she-
on.
Yeah.
So
everybody
you call
like
your,
the zoo
you
store.
call your
Everybody
wife
like-
and then you call the police.
Yeah, I'm definitely calling the wife. Say, hey, you'll never guess what.
Babe.
They're here. I
babe.
see the monkeys. We have eyes on the monkeys.
I don't mean to alarm you, but I am on a light rail with 2 emperor monkeys.
She would definitely try to convince me to call the police after that. That's like another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She seems like a Law and Order gal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so she would want those. I mean, it's very. I mean, now, but at the same time, here's the thing. Having a monkey is not illegal. So, like, wouldn't you feel like a real fool if you call the police?
Oh, yeah.
And
You know
say,
what? You know what
hey,
you
hey,
do-
hey, Pickle's got 2 monkeys. I see this lady on the train. She's got 2 monkeys, and then they come to arrest you and the monkeys, and you're like, "These are my monkeys," and then
Yeah.
you have like their licenses and stuff.
Do you need a birth certificate to own a monkey?
There's got to be some paperwork involved for owning a monkey. Like, do you remember Des Bryant had a monkey? He named the monkey Dallas. I'll always.
I thought you were going to
remember
go the
that.
Friends route. You know, when Friends had a monkey.
They did have a monkey. I didn't watch Friends, so I'm
Whatever.
sorry.
You knew they had a monkey.
I did. I
So you've watched it enough to know that.
I mean, I'm aware of that in the same way that, like, Pickles never watched BoJack Horseman, but she knows that there's a dog, you know?
See, I didn't know that. I've
Sure.
never watched BoJack Horseman. I don't know that there's a dog.
But I'm just saying that, like, if
He's
it's part
calling you out.
of I'm just saying if it's part of the zeitgeist, then, like, you
I
kind of
gotcha.
absorb
Okay.
things. And certainly, you
I don't know.
I would like to have a pet.
Are you, like, accusing me of being, like, a closeted Friends?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
He actually has a whole
Bad-
Friend shrine in
Yeah,
his
I'm just like,
home
oh.
office.
We're from the era where I feel like you've had to have watched some Friends.
oh,
You know what I
of
mean?
course I
You know?
I've watched some Friends. Yes, I have seen an episode of Friends.
See, he's going back on his original statement now. You caught him. You caught him in a red-handed lie.
That's not true. That's not what I was trying to do. I'm just saying, like, we know
You
that.
got him.
I am aware of the show Friends.
Got him. Closeted Friends
Everybody's
fan,
seen it.
super
Everybody's seen it.
My
fan.
wife loves Friends. Of course, I'm
Oh,
aware
yeah.
of it. In the same
It's
way
big-
that, in
big
the
wife
same
energy
way,
show.
in the same way that, like, my wife is aware of
My
the
wife.
Simpsons,
Yeah.
even though she has certainly. Now you want to accuse me of that? Certainly.
I'm just gonna still choose to believe that you have a whole Friend shrine in your home office.
Yeah, I've got a shrine to
Jennifer Aniston.
Which
Jennifer
is
Aniston.
probably a
Who's,
normal thing that people have shrines to.
Who is the hippie, the weirdo girl?
Phoebe.
Yeah.
Phoebe, not Phoebe.
See,
I
this
don't
is the
know
other
her
thing. I
actor-
I haven't
know
watched
her
Friends, but I
actress
know that.
name.
Phoebe was the one that I was like.
Jennifer Aniston.
I got to go with the Jennifer Aniston thing too. She's gorgeous.
And then the dudes were.
I don't know the dudes' names.
Ross was the tall, goofy one. He was the one who was on Band of Brothers.
Tall,
He
goofy
was.
guy.
Chandler. Chandler was the funny one. Were they all funny? Were they all supposed to
They're
be
all
funny?
Seems like you're a Friends super fan.
I'm trying to think of the third one.
Nice. Well played.
Chandler,
Mhm.
Ross.
He's doing the longevity of this
I
when
have
he
no
already
idea what
knows
third
the
one
answer.
I know the answer. It's Joey.
Joey. Joey's the dumb one.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Joey's the dumb one. That's right. He was the one. He got the spin-off show. That was like a failed spin-off show.
Was
a very
it Joey in that? I
a
didn't.
very famous failed spin-off show.
Didn't watch that one. I definitely didn't watch.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother? It's got big Friends vibes.
We watched. We picked up on it like season 4 or something like that, and like just dropped in, and like I liked it, but it felt like it went on way too long.
Worst ending to a show ever. It was awful.
Yeah.
All of the other episodes, all 9 seasons, other than that, fantastic.
9 seasons.
It's long. It's
Maybe we didn't come in
long.
at least season
It's
4
pretty good show.
because
It's
we
solid.
didn't.
It's
Yeah.
a solid show.
Show
It was
is
fine.
good.
We liked it. I thought
Show
Neil
is
Patrick
good.
Harris was funny,
Ending is all
Yeah.
and
Barney.
then it's got Jason Segel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jason Segel. Who went on things. Anyway,
Friends
we're
super
happy
fan.
that there has been justice at the zoo.
Somehow we we
That was
went
a
on-
snowball.
Yeah, we went on a tangent.
Hit the theme expo. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live, texasfootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or you listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local, mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today making us sound good. She's the Duchess of the Dork. She's Miss 305. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi, friends. How are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm well.
And sitting to my right, he's the recruiting analyst for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, our good friend, Greg Powers.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, dude. How are
Grev.
Good.
you? Good.
We get to see Grev every day now. And
I
it's
know.
great.
I feel like your life has certainly been enriched by this.
It is. Every
Yeah.
morning, like, I walk in, and Grev just, like, turns around and smiles and waves. It makes me very happy.
Makes me
You
happy.
can't help but like turn and look when those numbers. So for those of you who aren't in the DCTF offices,
Which is
All of
everyone
you.
except 9 of us or something.
there's a keypad where you have to like put in numbers to get in
Mhm.
to get access.
Mhm.
So you can't help but look at every time somebody types in the
Boop,
numbers
boop, boop,
to
boop. Yeah.
who it is.
Mhm.
It's also super embarrassing that if you mess up one of the numbers on
Yes.
accident or you double click something, you have to continue to
So,
enter the correct
'cause
number
I
of
think
numbers,
everybody's
and then
got-
it goes.
Because we all have different things, but they're all 4 digits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we all have a
Yeah,
different
I would
4-digit one.
assume.
So if you hear like boop, 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 you're like, ah!
Yeah, and then it goes.
What a dum-dum.
Doo-doo,
Yeah.
and you know, and then you walk in
Tough.
and everyone's staring at you, knowing that you messed up your
Yeah,
code.
You done messed up. Today is Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. 288 days till Thanksgiving. Pickle, I'm surprised you came in today.
Mine.
Happy 80th birthday to Creed Bratton.
Oh my god.
www.creedthoughts.www.
Literally the most
Creed Thoughts.
Underrated character of The Office. Hands
80 years
down.
old, the great Creed Bratton today.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
I never would have thought he was 80.
Yeah. Which means he was probably, because that show's 15 years old-ish.
Yeah.
Probably older. But yeah, so he was probably 65 whenever they cast him.
Yeah, that fits, I guess.
60, 65. Which he was like the old guy in the office.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's episode 1535. On today's show, folks, we got This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers. Then we're going to hear from DeSoto 4-star cornerback Mario Buford. Powers caught up with him a little bit earlier. We're also going to unveil the Children's Health Team Behind the Team winner. So we hope you'll stick around for all of that. But first, we have first 4 through the door.
We sure do. It was Rob Hadaway, Nick Morton, Tony Blaylock, and we'll go to Facebook, Ryan Smiga. Welcome in, friends.
Welcome in, friends. We appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us. Thanks for hopping on the show. Ready for this?
Let's do it.
I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
In Crootin.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete. No, not Next Level Athlete anymore. I'm used to saying that. We still love our friends at Next Level Athlete, but now at Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
There you go.
Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. I got to redo my whole thing
yeah.
now.
You just
Like,
literally had to rewire your
Yeah,
entire
I know.
brain.
I've been doing that for years.
We talked about how many shows it could have. We're probably over 150
of us together?
this week in
Oh,
Crootin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right, 'cause you've been doing this for about 4 years.
We always talk about you being, like, I guess the most, like, probably the person besides the two of us that have been on this show the most.
TexasFootball.com/recruiting is where you can find all his fine work. And this is segment is brought to you, of course, by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express, the big game is on Sunday. The big game.
Ooh, that's a power move. Bring in yellow
I
boxes,
feel like
boy.
I don't even need to say anything else. The big game is on Sunday, and this segment is brought to you by Chicken Express. If you can't connect those two dots,
Gonna get.
It's delicious.
can you? Because you came over very famously. You came to a barbecue at my house, and you brought Chicken Express,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like, man, it's like you cracked the code.
You won.
I feel regret too for it. If there were leftover, I think there were leftover rolls because I doubled down on the rolls.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take them. I left them there.
Allow me to
those rolls.
Allow me to tell you, I don't regret
Still
that.
have regret.
I have no regrets on that.
That next day, I was like, oh.
Went into my tum tum.
My boyfriend came to that, and when we left, he goes, Was Powers the one that bought Chicken Express? That was clutch.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, the brand is strong.
Win your big game party at Chicken Express. It's This Week in Recruiting. Let's start with our prospect of the week.
On the
Our
rise.
prospect on the rise.
That part hasn't changed.
It's been a few weeks since we've actually done This Week in Recruiting.
Our prospect on the rise. Let's go to the Houston area and go to the private school ranks. Talk about Fort Bend Christian's offensive tackle Bennett Warren, who is now among 10 new DCTF 4-star prospects, and it's showing on his resume. He's picked up offers from places like A&M, from Texas, from Auburn, LSU, Michigan. It goes on and on and on. And yeah, this is a guy. We've kind of put out a lot of content for the class of 2024 on TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And Bennett Warren, maybe a name that flies under your radar, maybe because Fort Bend Christian, maybe a little bit off the beaten path as far as recruiting is concerned. But Bennett Warren, the tape don't lie.
No, he's got I think his coach reported he has a 7'1" wingspan.
Jeez.
So large human in Bennett Warren, and his recruitment has really taken off. He picked up an offer from Texas at the junior day there. Longhorns creeped up his list. Then he followed that visit up with junior day stops at TCU and Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
They've both offered him now as well.
Mm-hmm.
And LSU is offered, and he's thinking about taking an unofficial visit there at the beginning of March to get a closer look at the Go Tigers program. But we're just rattling them off now. Once you got those, what's really left? You got an offer from the team that played for the national championship. You got what I consider, the two big in-state offers. And LSU is like that gateway offer, right? Like towards the SEC and further east into the SEC. Like, when LSU makes an offer, Alabama, Georgia, all these other schools really pay close attention to those programs because they're rivals.
Mm-hmm.
So Bennett Warren really is going to have an opportunity to play wherever he wants.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe I'm putting you in a tough spot. It strikes me that at the private school ranks, they put out a lot of big-time star, especially offensive linemen.
Yeah,
defensive linemen too, but offensive linemen especially.
Tommy Brockermeyer was the number one player a couple classes back, now transferred to TCU. You have Donovan Jackson, who went to Ohio State. He's probably coming back onto their roster next year, their best offensive lineman returning. 5-star guy as well.
Walker Little is a name that springs to
Walker
mind.
Little playing in the NFL now. And then you have, just if you're going to make a stop by Fort Bend Christian and you're going to check out Bennett Warren, go ahead and put eyes on 2025 athlete Kobe Sellers as well, a guy who will be a 4-star.
Yeah, so keep an eye on that down there. Fort Bend Christian's 2024 offensive tackle Bennett Warren, one of the new DCTF 4-stars on TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Let's roll on to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going to South Oak Cliff, where we were supposed to be a week ago. Then weather got
Dumb
in the way.
ice.
Yeah.
Where their athlete Jamari Colley, a.k.a. Wildman has committed to SMU, which is a big get for Rhett Lashley, considering this is a guy, a DCTF 4-star, a number 30 in the DCTF Hot 100. He had offers from places like Georgia, from A&M, from Texas, from USC, but he's going to the Hilltop. This is a really nice get for Rhett Lashley and company.
Yeah, no doubt. And, just wanted to stay at home. When Colley first popped onto my radar, it was his sophomore season. They won the state championship, but he's a big dude. I thought, wow, what would this guy look like as an outside linebacker? And that was coming off of a season where he racked up close to 900 yards and I think 15 touchdowns, something like that. So that was a weird question to ask, but it's just when you look at him, you can see his freakish potential on either side of the football. He desires to play offense, and he's done a good job at playing wide receiver. Obviously, he understands how to use his frame and out-muscles smaller defensive backs and bigger defensive backs for 50-50 balls. But he's a sneaky good route runner. Like, he's open often, and he has a great catch radius, long arms, can shield those defensive backs away from being able to make a play on the football. Really like his potential at SMU, and I think that he has a chance to dominate that conference. And in 2024, what a great way to get a fast start for Rhett Lashley.
Well, and this is exactly the kind of guy that if you are Rhett Lashley and company, these are the types of recruiting battles you want to win. You want to give guys who want to stay at home an opportunity to stay at home and just like lean in and be like, yeah, sure, you can play at a high level. You can play and go to the NFL if that's what you want to do. You can do it all from the comforts of home. And obviously, I have to imagine that was a big factor in Jamar Colley's decision.
Yeah, no doubt. And SMU is going to have to fight to keep him committed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of recruits that you want.
Yes.
You want the recruits that everybody else is
That you have to
trying
keep re-recruiting.
Yeah, you want the recruits that everybody else is still trying to get. So, huge win to kind of kick off 2024. There's a lot. I mean, really, the ball's starting to roll a little bit with commitments.
Mm-hmm.
There's commitments popping up every day now. It was a pretty good week of commitments because you had Leonard Moore down at Round Rock. He committed to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
You had Armstrong Nodum at Mesquite Horn, who committed to Rice, which is one of the best Rice commits, by the way.
Yes, ever.
Like it was a great commitment. I can't believe that Armstrong doesn't have. They call him Strong because he has a 455-pound. That's his nickname, Armstrong Strong. 455-pound bench press and a 675-pound squat.
Okay.
Man,
So-
we're the same human.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all better start calling me strong.
Good week for in-state commitments in Texas.
Thank you for just blowing right through that stop sign. I appreciate that. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers. Go to texasfootball.com/recruiting for all things recruiting in the state of Texas. Let's go to our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week, staying in the DFW Metroplex, let's go to Red Oak to talk about their 2025 wide receiver. Their 2025 wide receiver, Taz Williams. And he is on a heater, as the kids would say. He now has 20 scholarship offers with new offers from places like Alabama and Georgia. Already had offers from places like A&M, TCU, Michigan, etc. He was a breakout superstar for the Hawks as a sophomore, and people are starting to take notice of what Taz Williams is all about.
This one's crazy to me because Taz came, to the next level athlete camp a couple years ago. And I feel like he checked in at like around 5'9", 5'10", 155 pounds. Now he's 6 foot 175. And watching him play on the field last year, you could basically see that how much he had grown up. He's going to be a dude, right? Like he's already got Alabama and Georgia and all the other offers you mentioned. So there's no doubt that colleges know him as a guy who can make an impact at the next level. But I love watching these guys kind of grow up, right? And I got a chance to call the Red Oak Lake Belton game for Texan Live last year.
Yeah.
And it threw me off. Like, was that my first game pickle that I did? I think it was.
No, you
it
did
wasn't.
Temple.
It threw me off because they listed him as Montaz, and I just known him as
Yeah.
Taz. So Montaz he returned a kick for a touchdown and super explosive in the return game, and I'm Montaz Williams. Well, I didn't even connect the dots that was Taz until like halftime. I was like, who's Montaz Williams?
Man, this Montaz Williams is pretty
Williams
good.
is killing it.
I should put together a profile for him.
Like I thought I was like walking into some big, huge discovery. Come to find out, he'd already long time ago been discovered.
That's
but
funny.
He's going to be a key integral part of the Red Oak offense there, which is transitioning to a new head coach. Very bright and talented young group of prospects at Red Oak. They not only have Taz, they also have Braden Robinson, a 2026 wide receiver who's getting a lot of attention, and Kamorion Morgan in the 2025 class at defensive end, who's already a DCTF 4-star. So the future is bright down at Red Oak. There's a lot of reason for college coaches to stop through there in the spring evaluation period. And, of course, Warren Roberson.
Yes.
He just flipped his commitment yesterday from TCU to Texas. So I think it was like the last shoe to drop in the class of 2023. So 2023 is now final as Red Oak cornerback Warren Roberson is now a Texas Longhorn.
Yes, that was another bit of news coming out of the 2020 class of 2023, class of 2023, as they haul in Warren Roberson. But keep an eye on Taz Williams there at Red Oak, just going to be a junior this upcoming season. Let's round things out with our Recruit of the Week. Our Recruit of the Week going to San Antonio. Talk about San Antonio Veterans Memorial running back James Peoples, who is going to go play in the 2024 All-American Bowl. He's our number 12 prospect in the DCTF Hot 100 in class of 2024. We just released the new top 50, including the top 10, which drew some eyeballs from people yesterday. He's already got 20 offers. Places like Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, Oklahoma. He's pretty good, I would say, and he's going to be taking his talents to the All-American Bowl. I imagine this is just a good opportunity to talk about, hey, James Peoples, pretty awesome.
Yeah, he is, and I always like these cool stories because, the All-American Bowl's in San Antonio. So he gets to stay home and play in front of his family, friends, coaches, teammates from Veterans Memorial, and a huge honor there for the high school and the player, James Peoples, one of the most talented backs in the entire country. He's got a really long offer list. He hasn't pared it down to like a top set of schools, but just watching this thing as it naturally progresses, I think 2 schools to keep a close eye on so far are Texas and Ohio State. He's going to be taking an unofficial visit up to see the Buckeyes at the beginning of March, an extended visit where he's going to spend multiple days there, a few days on campus. And then, of course, he was one of the highly touted prospects that the Longhorns had on campus for Junior Day, which is, in state, that's one of the big events, right? The UT Junior Day every year. It kind of became that in the Mac Brown era. You remember when they used to have the UT Junior Day, like they would put together their entire recruiting class basically on that one weekend. Things have changed. It's not like that anymore. These players tend to string out their recruiting process a little bit longer now. Texas doesn't push to have everybody commit on one weekend, but I think Hookham made a pretty good impression on Peoples while he was on campus.
A name to know there, James Peoples, one of the top prospects in the entire class of 2024. You can find the Hot 100, the new Hot 100.
So this is how we've attacked it. We updated the top 10 yesterday. There was a new number 1 in Duncanville defensive end Colin Simmons. 2 new faces in the top 10 in Taylor Tatum and Justin Williams, outside linebacker from Conroe Oak Ridge. And, of course, Tatum is a record-setting running back at Longview. We updated the entire top 50 today. So to be a 4-star at DCTF, you have to be rated within the top 50. So all of the 4-stars, or the initial set of 4-stars, were named this morning. And we will release the top 100, the rest of, the top players in the state next week. But we're going to be doing some top 10 lists in the interim. Top 10 quarterbacks in the state. Will all 10 of these guys make the top 100?
I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out next week.
Well, and the other thing, I guess we can talk a little bit about it. The top 2 yesterday, because we released the top 10 overall.
Right.
Top 2. Number 1, Colin Simmons at Duncanville. Number 2, Micah Hudson at Lake Belton. Is it fair to call them 1 and 1A?
Yes.
Those 2 guys?
Yeah. I mean, Hudson was number 1. When did we name him? Like, Hudson's been the number 1 prospect for probably close to a year.
Yeah. So these are these guys. You're not going to be upset if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, by the way, Micah Hudson should be the number 1 prospect." Like, that's not going to be. No, you're
certainly
wrong.
not.
Yeah.
I think that you could have either one of them at top of your rankings list this year, and no one would be upset about that. And as a matter of fact, looking back to like some bold predictions that we made, 6 to 8 months ago, I think you're going to see a very number 1 prospect across like the recruiting sites this year. As a matter of fact, I think Kobe Black is the number 1 in-state prospect at 24/7 Sports. Then I think it's Hudson and Simmons, or Simmons and Hudson. I'm not sure exactly what that rankings order is. But you're going to see different guys, I think. And one guy who's a little bit of a sleeper that I think gets in the conversation by the time the dust settles is Frisco Reedy offensive tackle Max Anderson. And I
say, high on him.
I say that because I feel like he is the type of guy that not a lot of people are going to see on the camp circuit. He's not a big camper.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to go off of what you see in person on film, or if you have a chance to go to a game. Well, backstory for recruiting fans, Frisco ISD isn't open to basically recruiting media.
Yes.
Right? So it doesn't offer a ton of opportunity to go out and see Max Anderson in person. Dude's a freak.
Yeah.
Great in the weight room, technique sound, has a college pedigree, and is ready to go from a physical standpoint to step foot on campus and compete for playing time early. That's just a little name to watch as he gets in the mix. Maybe he gets in the mix for the number 1 prospect by the time it's all said and done. But it's definitely a talented group.
He's Greg Powers. He's our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout and see his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Stick around because I've got some more things for you to do.
Let's do it.
Okay. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Pickle, can we talk about our friends at Children's Health?
Yes, let's do that.
For the 4th year, Dave Campbell's Texas Football has partnered with Children's Health Andrews Institute to shine a light on student training programs across North Texas with the Team Behind the Team Award. This year, 11 finalists were selected to compete for the Team Behind the Team Student Training Program of the Year Award and a chance to receive a $2,500 donation to their school's athletic training program. After more than 600,000 votes on TexasFootball.com, we are proud to announce the North Texas Team Behind the Team Student Training Program of the Year, and the recipient of the $2,500 grand prize is Pilot Point High School. Congratulations to the Pilot Point Bearcat Athletics training staff for being named the North Texas Team Behind the Team Student Training Program of the Year, presented by Children's Health Andrews Institute. Congratulations to all 11 finalists, but a very special congratulations to the Pilot Point Bearcats Athletic training staff for being named the North Texas Team Behind the Team Student Training Program of the Year, presented by Children's Health Andrews Institute. Now, a word from our friends at VCR Now.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Powers, who'd you talk to this week?
We caught up with DeSoto cornerback Mario Buford, a 4-star, checking in at number 50 in the updated rankings.
Let's go.
DCTF Top 50 for the class of 2024. Tremendously fun interview here as he's got some of the top schools in the country chasing his signature.
Here's DeSoto's cornerback Mario Buford here on Texas Football Today.
Greg Powers, Dave Campbell's Texas Football. I'm joined out here by DCTF 4-star Mario Buford at DeSoto High School. State champion, you know. Everybody asks a question like, oh, what's it like to be a state championship? I don't want to know that. I want to know what it was like after the state championship game. What was it like coming back to DeSoto, having that honor? I mean, what was it like being in this city?
Man, when we came back from the state game after winning, it was just like everybody was in love with us. Like, the whole city was definitely turned up. Like, you know, I was able to go anywhere, you know, Whataburger, Waffle House, you know, get some free food, all that. Had my medal on, hat cocked to the side. Felt great. Yes, sir.
DeSoto's like a school rich in history. Defensive backfield, like there's been a lot of guys from the secondary who went on to have success. Even in this class, Jaden Milner-Jones, who's going to play for Deion Sanders at Colorado, he's one of my favorite players to watch. You know, he was a warrior. What sets you apart? What makes you special? Why have over 25 schools, you know, extended you a scholarship?
I feel like I'm definitely like a very technically sound player. Like, I feel like I'm able to like be in places in the field, like, you know, I'm able to cover a lot of ground real fast. You know, I'm kind of long, I'm lanky. I feel like I'm able to cover like pretty much any receiver that comes at me because I feel like I've guarded the best receivers. So like for a receiver to really have something for me, like it's gonna have to be like you're gonna have to show me something like new or something like super nice for it to even
Talk about competition, right? I got to talk about competition a little bit. You had Jonte Cook on your own team that you had to go against in practice, but this district that you play in every week, it's loaded with receivers. Does that make you better?
Oh, definitely. Especially guarding receiver like Jonte every day. And, like, you know, even my freshman year, I was guarding Jerran Bradley, who's at Texas Tech now, and Jaden.
guy there, too.
Yeah, Jaden Wilson, who's at Arkansas now. So, like, since I've got and Stephon,
Yeah.
who just had a big season at Oklahoma State.
Yes, sir.
So like, since I've gone to DeSoto, like I just been straight to getting the guarding the top guys, and like, especially dudes like Jonte, like it's rare, super rare around the entire country where I'm going to ever see a receiver like that. And in my district, like this year I'm going to have to go against Duncanville. They got the number one receiver in 25 and Corey. And it's definitely a matchup that I'm looking forward to, for this next season. And I'm preparing for it now in the offseason.
A lot of eyes will be on that game for sure. And, now it's your turn. Now you get to teach Dalen Singleton the ropes, right? Now you're the cornerback that he's going to be matched up with to learn those things. We talked about how many offers, like a lot of offers coming at you. We can't sit here and talk about or break down all of those things. And you haven't released a top schools list, so I always watch what they say, what they do. Like I kind of pick some schools out that I want to ask you about specifically, and I'm going to do it in a little bit of a reverse order than maybe what you might expect, because I'm going to start in the Big Ten. Not a lot of people in Texas talk about Big Ten country. You got 2 schools on the list there that I think could be a factor for you in Michigan State and Penn State. What keeps those programs in the mix?
Penn State was they're actually my latest offer, but like, since I've gotten the offer, I've gotten to speak with a lot of the coaching staff, and like, the first thing I think of when I think of Penn State is that viral video of when the game was first starting, and it was the whiteout, and they was just all screaming, and you couldn't hear anything. Like QB trying to snap the ball, they had to call a timeout. So that was just like
Probably against Ohio State.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking like, wow, like the atmosphere and the fans, like they really love Penn State. So I'm definitely gonna get up to Penn State sometime during the spring, as well as Michigan State. I'm planning to get up to their spring game. Michigan State, I mess with Coach Duhart a lot. I mess with their entire coaching staff, really. They're all really cool. Like, they definitely want to win. And they definitely, they always going against some top teams. So, every year they're going to have to go against teams like Michigan, Ohio State, and stuff like that. Yes, sir.
And now I'm going to go a little bit to the Pac-12 because I want to ask you about Oregon. Oregon seems to be like one of these schools that has so much momentum in Texas high school football right now, and a lot of guys across the country want to play for that school. What is so attractive about Oregon?
Man, Oregon for me, especially being a defensive player, Coach Dan Lannon, he literally just won a natty at Georgia as their defensive coordinator, and now he's the head coach at Oregon. Like being the defensive guy, I want to go where defense seems like it's going to be, the best for me to fit. And, like, Coach Martin, Coach Palich, like, those are all my guys. And I feel like definitely at Oregon, like, I've built a relationship and, like, I'll be able to make an impact.
I'm going to guess Coach Palich got a relationship with you when he was at Baylor. That was probably one of your very first offers, I'd guess.
Sir.
And then now he's moved on to Oregon as well. Nebraska. I mean, honestly, not a lot of guys list Nebraska as a school, like, in their favorites as a Texas player, but things have changed, I think, because one, they hired Matt Rule, who had success at Baylor, and really the ties in Texas are now strong. You got, Garrett McGuire is the wide receivers coach, Arlington Martin coach, Bob Wager's up there. So I mean, they're serious about Texas now.
With Nebraska, since my freshman year, Nebraska has always been recruiting me basically the hardest out of any other school.
Wow.
Mainly because my brother is their starting safety right now.
Well, there you go. There's a tie for you Cornhuskers fans. Go ahead and give your brother a shout-out before you dive into it.
Marquise Buford Jr., number 1, the starting safety on defense. So, Nebraska, like, I've gotten to talk to a lot of different coaching staffs at Nebraska, obviously. But, like, the Matt Rule, Evan Cooper, the new coaching staff they have right now is definitely top. Like, they're definitely my favorite out of the 3. No shade, but they're definitely my favorite out of the 3. Coach Rule, he seemed like he definitely trying to get Nebraska back to where it was, And the fans in Nebraska, wow, the fans are amazing. Like, I remember I'm down there my freshman year, and, like, people already knowing who I am from Nebraska. Wow. And I'm like, wow, like this is new to me. Like, I wasn't expecting this and everything like that. Yes, sir.
I can definitely vouch for that because whenever I went and watched Nebraska, it was like Ndamukong Suh was playing there, and they were playing OU. Sam Bradford was the quarterback. And even though Nebraska had lost that game, they cheered OU off the field. Like, so the fan base there, the culture there is just like something different, something special. And we're going to have to come to this guy for the inside track when it comes to Nebraska since his brother's there. And then, Washington, what keeps that team in purple in your mix?
Because Washington is definitely a great school, for DBs to get developed and make it to the next level, which is where I want to be. The coaches at Washington have been great with producing great cornerbacks and putting them into the league. Like, just a few years ago, not even maybe last year, they put like 2-3 DBs into the league in like the high first to second round. So like definitely a great school for defensive backs.
As Mario Buford, you got 7 minutes of action, hard-hitting action with him in this interview. Thanks for the time, man. Good luck as you guys try to go back-to-back next year. And, of course, as you navigate through what is going to be a very fun recruiting process with all these offers coming at you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There is Mario Buford, cornerback from DeSoto.
I just want to know what it would be like to walk the halls, to go through my city off of a state championship win. Something I'll never get to experience. Something really cool that those DeSoto players.
Yeah, they get to do that.
He's got a whole nother year of high school. He gets to be the man.
He gets to do like
the man.
He gets to do like the Vince McMahon walk down the hallway.
Like Oregon chasing him.
Yeah, I feel like there should
Penn
be like
State.
music following him around, like whenever he goes
like
into
just
a room.
a band follows him.
Yeah.
Just plays whatever music he wants.
The drum
Whenever
line
he enters
just
the room, Yeah,
goes.
the drum line just follows him around. But yeah, Mario Buford, a star there, and you're right. He's a guy who's a top 50 prospect in the DCTF Hot 100 there on TexasFootball.com/recruiting. So exciting times.
I like the insight too that he gets to give to a program like Nebraska for us because his brother plays there. Throughout the coaching change and all the new Texas ties there, like he knew what it was before and he knows what it is now. Pretty cool. I guess behind the scenes look at what's going on at Nebraska with Mario Buford.
Most certainly, we appreciate his time a little bit earlier. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, the final thoughts.
Coming up at 2:00 today, I believe. I actually don't know if ROF is going live today. I think so.
Should be.
Okay.
Hold on.
We're gonna go ask.
Breaking news: if the show isn't happening, but if the show is happening, not breaking news.
But are they going live or is it audio only? We're just watching. Here we go. The grand reveal.
Okay, I talked with the producer.
Okay.
Forget her name. I want to say Margaret.
Margaret.
She said that there will be a show today at 2, but it will be on tape, but it will be a show that's live to you guys. So it's on at 2 today, Republic of Football.
You could just do like big time wrestling and
Purple
it's always
Monkey
live,
dishwasher.
right?
Yes.
It's always live.
Yeah, it's always live. Exactly right. Everything's always live to tape.
Anyway, that was a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be. But ROF at 2 today, supposedly?
It'll be on. It's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks to DeSoto cornerback Mario Buford for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle and Greg Powers, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today. Really? We're just going to...
I thought maybe you would wave or something. Thanks,
Bye.
Powers.